welcome back to the garden at Central Union Church. Before we get into today's video, I'd like to just report that we've put in a little over 5.5 pounds of cucumbers, fresh produce that we've been able to distribute to people that we've come across that had a need. So we're really excited that our garden is producing and we are able to move forward with doing what little we can to help those who maybe are struggling a bit more just now. Over the course of the last few weeks, we've been talking about the fruits of the Spirit. We've talked about the fruit of love, joy, and peace. Today, we're going to talk about the fruits of long-suffering, which is how I learned it as a child, or the fruit of patience, and the fruit of gentleness. Several days ago, I came out to the garden, maybe even a week or week and a half ago, and I noticed that one of my plants, my best producing plant, was starting to wither from the top parts of the plant right on down. And over the course of several days, this pattern continued. At first I thought, well, it's been a couple of days since I was able to water. Maybe it's just feeling the lack of water. And then I realized that something was really wrong with our plant. So I began to really look closer. And what I found kind of made me sad. That plant has since perished and we've had to take it out of the garden. But what had caused that plant to not be healthy has spread to some of our other plants in our garden. I'd like you to come take a little look at what I found. This plant here is also starting to wither from the top. And I discovered when I turned over the leaves, this one's kind of hard to see, but when I turned over the leaves, I discovered these brown and green spots. It looks like there's some kind of bug. This one looks like maybe some kind of worm or a grub from a bug that is attacking our plants. Initially, I thought perhaps I'll catch it in time with just the one plant. I thought, well, I don't know what this is. So I called my dad, who is becoming my gardening go-to guy. And he said, well, when we've had bug problems in our garden, we've mixed 1 teaspoon of hydrogen peroxide with a cup of water, and we just spray the leaves, and we haven't had very many problems with bugs. So I tried that, and then it rained, and it rained, and it rained. And so I've been trying to come back out and continue spraying, but it looks like this problem with the bugs is continuing, and it's continuing to spread. I'm going to keep looking for solutions. I'm hoping to find some really non-chemical solutions to spray on our plant, something that will help stop the spread of these bugs. But it really hit me that when we talk about gardening, so often we think about how we have to be patient for the fruit to grow. And that's true. Gardening is a great way to learn patience because you don't get fruit overnight. The bigger lesson that I've been learning in the recent weeks as I've been dealing with trying to get rid of these bugs is that sometimes you have to start over. And it's hard to be patient with yourself when you fail, when something that you've tried hasn't worked. And as we let God's Spirit work in us, that fruit of patience can grow. We learn to be more patient with ourselves. We learn to be more patient with others. And what I'm also discovering is that as my patience grows, and sometimes that fruit of patience grows so slowly, but as I learn and as God teaches me to have patience, to start over, to keep trying, to be willing to suffer long through the process of learning and growing and learning to bear fruit. As I am going through that process myself, along with that patience comes gentleness. That gentleness is not always evident, and sometimes it's a very fragile plant. Sometimes old patterns of impatience and grumpiness and harsh words are so easy to have reemerge. But as I trust God, as I trust that His patience will grow in my life, I can also trust that God is making me a gentler, kinder, more loving person. I'm going to keep tackling these bugs in the garden, and hopefully we'll be able to salvage and keep our plants growing. In addition to that, I'm going to plant some new seeds and get some new plants started. In case we lose these, we'll have another way to start again. We'll have to wait for fruit, and sometimes waiting is very hard. But I know that as the fruit of patience grows and the fruit of gentleness grows, God is making me more like God. If anyone has great ideas about these pests and these bugs, please send them my way. I am happy to learn. And I hope that we all are patient with each other and patient with ourselves as we continue to learn and let God's Spirit teach us the fruit of long suffering, of patience, and of gentleness.